Good evening, my fellow Americans. I want to start off by thanking you for tuning in to today's program. Over the course of the next several minutes, we're going to be going over various political shenanigans that have taken place over the last 20 years. Insert buzzwords regarding prison reform or somebody help or immigration here. The state of American politics has never been so dire. And in honor of traditional media, I am here to sow further dissent. Welcome to All right, so we're starting off with some fresh bits. This is a Joe Biden Skyrim crossover. I have no idea what the original video is or what it was supposed to be, but this is so hilariously awkward. Hello. Hello. All right, now we're checking out French President Emmanuel Macron visiting French Polynesia. I do think this is just a cultural thing. China's atomic weapons kind of continues to get these leis, these flowers, and I'm sure there it's normal. It's kind of a meme everywhere else.
Over 4 days, Macron will visit four sites spread out across an ocean territory.
This weekend, veteran news anchorman David Brinkley apologized to Bill Clinton for an election night commentary in which he called the president, quote, boring and uncreative. Admitted Brinkley, there was certainly nothing uncreative about the way you moved Vince Foster's body. The president's a murderer. You didn't know that?
All right, so I'm a pretty liberal dude.
I did not.
But can we, as a nation,
I did not have sexual.
Stop pretending like the Clintons aren't fucking criminals?
Have sexual relations with that woman.
All right, here we have a very famous speech taking place back in 2003. There he is. Look at the little guy. Old George W.
Any outlaw regime that has ties to terrorist groups and seeks or possesses weapons of mass destruction.
Let's just hear what he has to
is
say.
a grave danger to the civilized world and will be confronted.
Okay. Okay, can we stop the footage right there? Let's talk about this for a second. Now, this was a very famous speech because of this banner. It was a speech to announce the end of major combat in Iraq. At the time of this speech, there were 104 American lives lost to the Iraq War, and we would go on to lose 3,424 more before the combat actually stopped. And we didn't even need to invade Iraq because the September 11th was a Saudi operation, but that's neither here nor there. I do want to say that that banner was there for the crew of this airplane hangar who just finished a 10-month-long deployment and did actually accomplish their mission. Nonetheless, the speech was still pretty short-sighted and misguided, much like the entirety of the Bush presidency. All right, who do we have here?
Bonjour.
Hello.
Je m'appelle Maxime Renard.
Oh, okay, his name is Maxime.
Oh.
Is he a president? Why? Oh. Oh, dude, don't. No, don't do that.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Je m'appelle Maxime Renard.
I know your name's Maxime. You told me that. What is he doing? Oh. Well, he's okay. He's alive. All right. I don't think that clip was supposed to be in there, so let's move on.
For this build, you're going to need 12
Legos?
pieces. You're going to need any torso. Doesn't matter what torso. I'm just going to put plastic, plain classic red torso.
I'm sure this is going to tie into
then
president
Just a
somehow. It has
generic Lego
to.
head. Doesn't matter what head you use, but I just like the nice smiley look to him. And then you also can use like any hairpiece, but I'm just going to use a classic black hairpiece. Ooh, look at that.
I'm starting to second guess it a little.
So for this, you're going to want to put the toe hook just on the torso, just like
No. Dude, no,
And then
no.
you're gonna want to get the maxi figure.
Yeah, this was not
Get
supposed to
that
be
in
in
there.
here. I don't
And then you
know
grab your 1x2 studs.
what's happening.
You just stack them on top of each other and pop them in like that.
It's good knowledge to have, but
There we go.
yeah, no,
It's gonna give the idea
I don't know
of
how this made
legs.
it in.
And then the final pieces you're gonna use are just the 1x1 plates. You just put them on
Sorry.
just like that.
Right, we are going to move on to our final topic of today. We are discussing the Bohemian Club. The Bohemian Club was founded in 1872 by journalists and artists who wanted to fraternize and get to know one another, you know, just dudes being dudes, that sort of thing. Now its membership is primarily made up of local and global leaders. Every year they gather for 2 weeks in July to celebrate the cremation of care, which we'll cover in a second. There have been hundreds of notable figures to be part of this club. Richard Nixon, George H.W. Bush, William Randolph Hearst, Herbert Hoover, many more. Those are just some names. But let's circle back to that cremation of care thing, which is the whole point of the 2-week retreat that this group is centered around. The cremation of care is a ceremony that takes place on the final night of the event. It's this weird, big theatrical production, but the whole thing represents the slaying of worldly problems and issues, that sort of thing. Essentially, it's this big theatrical production, and they burn a human effigy in front of this massive concrete owl. Funny enough, this owl was voiced by Walter Cronkite for a number of years. It's a bit troubling knowing that this weird 2-week-long retreat in the woods genuinely has an impact on our lives. Let's talk about a few faux pas of the group. Women are absolutely not allowed membership. In 1978, they were charged with discrimination. A judge sided with the club based on the fact that men urinate outside during the event. Later that year, the decision was overturned and the club was forced to start hiring and allowing women members. But they filed a petition to have this reversed. And the new judge, who was part of the club, sided with the club. Thankfully, in 1987, the Fair Employment and Housing Commission went to the California Court of Appeal and had this decision partially reversed, making the club now have to hire women again. But as of today, no woman has ever been given full membership to the club, and only 4 women hold partial honorary membership. Let's talk about logging. Bohemian Grove is located within 2,000 acres of old-growth redwood forest. The club started logging en masse in 1984. It's estimated that between 1984 and 2007, 11 million board feet had been cut out of the property. And in 2007, they acquired a permit that allowed them to increase their rate of logging by 900,000 board feet per year. Thankfully, in 2011, a judge rejected the plan that this permit was held within. And as of today, they can't touch those trees. The Lorax would be proud. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I only watched a short portion of everything that you saw, so if there was something that interested you, click the link in the description. Be sure to like, comment,